Let's talk about the Bellow Duster. This is a very inexpensive but extremely effective tool that's going to up your pest control game if you're using powders like diatomaceous earth, pyrethrin, or anything else. Let's jump in. How does a Bellow Duster work? Essentially, it's a tool that you put in a powdered product, and then you have a bunch of airflow and it's spring loaded so that you can squeeze it and you will get a very air-filled, consistent puff. So you get even distribution, the product travels farther, and you're gonna be a lot more efficient with the product that you use. So let's go over the parts of it. You have the end with the cap on it, so that keeps any product in. It's secure, so it's good for transport. On the back side here, which is a great little tool not everybody knows about, is you can unscrew this, and you have this little piece that you can go in the front and unclog any jams if you're using a powder that may collect moisture, like a pyrethrin powder. On the top side, you have the lid. This is where you open it up. And then on the inside, you can see it's filled with coils. It's like a spring. So that's how you get the good up and down motion and it resets. On the inside, there's little holes that lead into this application tube. So it takes a small amount of product driven by the pressure of the air, so you get a very good mix of air and product that will then go out the end. Now let's talk about how to use it. When you're using a Bellow Duster, there's a few simple but critical tricks that you need to know. The first one is that when you're filling it up, you only want to fill it up 1/4 or halfway. You want to make sure that there's good airflow so that when the product's in there, it can move around freely, fill the tube up, and be distributed evenly. Another little tip is if you're using something that tends to clump, you can use marbles, washers, or even coins to stay in there to keep the powder broken up. Once it's filled, you want to make sure that that cap is really secure. The biggest mistake we see most people doing is using it like this. This means all the product is sitting over top of the area where the powder goes in, so it will force out way too much product. You want to use it this way. This way you have the airflow, you want to get the puffs going, it gets the product agitated and gets a lot of air so you can get a really strong, thin line going out. The reason you want that is these insects like cockroaches and other crawling insects are extremely smart. If you put too much powder down, they see that, they run around it and they avoid it. You want to make sure you have a very thin layer that looks even, so they walk right over with it, coming into contact with it, grooming themselves in it, and making sure that they're not avoiding it. Let's go over how it works and do a live demonstration. One tip is whenever you're using a Bellow Duster, you only want to use the same product in there. Today we're using diatomaceous earth. This is now the diatomaceous earth Bellow Duster. You don't want to mix anything together and risk contamination. So, simple enough. Pop off your top lid. Get the product that you're using. Again, you only want to put in about 1/4 to half full, so you have lots of air movement in that chamber. Put the lid back on and make sure that it's on there tight. You want to make sure there's no air loss from here. Make sure the back is screwed in tight so there's no air loss. And then you want to remove the end cap. I like to agitate the powder up very nicely. And then you just give little puffs. And you can see how very little comes out and you get a very nice even distribution. As you're doing it, if it starts to settle, give it a good shake and you can see it, you get a little bit more coming out. One of the biggest misconceptions with powder is that more is better. You really want to have just that very thin layer that these insects aren't going to see. So go around, sometimes you want to apply it, let it settle, come back and make sure you have a nice even distribution. When you're done with it, put the cap back on. Depending on the product, you may need to either put it back in the container or it may be safe to store inside. It just depends on the property. Whatever product you use, read the label, follow the instructions, and make sure you use proper PPE. Please let us know what you think. If you've used a Bellow Duster or you have any questions, drop us a comment. So what we went over today is what is a Bellow Duster, why it's useful, you get a very even spread, you use less product, and the airflow allows the product to travel even further. How to use the Bellow Duster, safety for using it, and then we did a demonstration of how it actually works. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's any questions, drop us a comment, and hopefully this really helps you up your pest control game.